I mean, it is Mexico, so I was expecting burritos, I was expecting tacos, fajitas, all the Mexican food you have at a restaurant here. And when I got to my mission, it's Merida is the furthest south you can go in Mexico. And when we arrived, I was expecting to show up to burritos and tacos, and that's actually not what they eat there. They do have tacos, but I couldn't find. I think in the whole 2 years I was there, I never had a burrito, never had fajitas or enchiladas. But what they do have are more traditional foods to their culture, the Mayan culture, and they have a lot of panuchos, mondongo. They have pozole. So they have a lot of different foods that are more traditional to what they used to have. And panuchos are fried tortillas that are a lot smaller than up north in Mexico. And they put beans inside of them. They put lettuce and tomatoes and avocado on them, and they eat them like that. So you'll just have several of those for your meal. Pozole is tortillas that they've broken up into water. And then potaje was probably my favorite food that I had there in my 2 years. And most missionaries thought it was all right, but for some reason I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Anytime the members would mention it or offer it to us, I just couldn't get enough of it. But it's lentil beans, and then they put different types of meats in. They'll put pork or chicken or lots of meat in it, and then they'll put vegetables with carrots, fried bananas, and put a lot. It's almost like a stew, but they put lots of stuff into it. Some missionaries love it, some not so much, but for some reason I loved it. So that was probably my favorite food there. But it's definitely different than the food you find in the rest of Mexico. Yeah, the food in Merida actually isn't that crazy. They don't do lots of weird stuff like you hear in other missions. The craziest food I had was mondongo, and that's because I asked for it. And mondongo is cow stomach. So they cook the cow stomach, they put the cow foot in while they're cooking it, and that's the meal. So the members there actually really considerate about asking you what you like, what you don't like, if you're allergic to anything, so that they can tailor the foods to the missionaries. But in one instance, me and my companion always heard about mondongo, so we asked for it as a joke, and the member actually gave it to us. That was probably the weirdest thing I've ever eaten. Luckily, the member didn't make us finish it. We told her we were going to, and she took it away from us. But for the most part, the foods there are normal, healthy. I never got sick from eating any food while I was in the mission. So the members are great about cooking good stuff.